Hey Slicker View fans, coming at you with another video. This week we're checking out a dash cam from Denicer. So before we get into the unboxing and everything, I just want to say dash cams are extremely important. I don't know if you've ever been in an accident before, but what can happen is when somebody else causes an accident, here's the thing, they don't always tell the truth about what happened, especially after the fact when everybody's gone home. They're talking to their insurance company and nobody's there to call them out. They're going to lie pretty much every single time. So get a dash cam. I have one in all of my cars. It is very important that you have one of these so you can prove what happened, because say somebody runs a red light and hits you, guess what? They're gonna say they had a green light. So you need a dash cam. So anyway, let's get into it. So checking out the specs here real quick, a lot of different stuff here, but what I really like to hit on with dash cams is the resolution and frame rate options. So this one has 1080p at 30 frames a second and 720p at 30 frames a second as well. So no 60 frames a second option, which is what I prefer on dash cams just because it's a little bit smoother, but generally to get that you might need to spend a little bit more. So 1080 at 30 frames is really going to be fine. We have a 3-inch touchscreen here, so that should be nice large touchscreen. It works with a micro SD card and can support up to 64 gigs, which should be more than fine. It does have loop recording if you'd like to turn it on, and what that means is that it'll break up the video into increments of either 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, or you can just turn it off if you'd prefer. Now why that's cool is because sometimes video files can get corrupted, you know, stuff happens. So I'd rather break up the video files into smaller increments, so if I do lose a file, I've only lost a couple minutes. So that's why that's important to turn on. We have parking monitor, which means as long as this is plugged into power all the time, if it detects that your car moves, like someone backed into it in a parking lot, it'll flip on real quick and record about 20 seconds worth of video. So that's available as well. We have anti-shake, and it has a G sensor, which means there's an accelerometer, which means if it detects that your car slows way down like in an accident, it'll make sure to lock that file so it doesn't get automatically deleted or anything like that. So lots of really good features that are pretty standard on dash cams. Let's open this one up and see what we get in the box. So right away, there's the device up top. We're gonna set that off to the side for a second. Let's see what else we get inside here. So lots of accessories. Let's get all of this out. Let's see what we have to work with here. So suction cup for mounting the dash cam itself. We'll set that off to the side. We've got power adapter with your standard power outlet. And it does work with mini USB, which is pretty common with these dash cams. Really long cord, so you can run it wherever you want. We have another mini USB cable. If you'd like to transfer the videos to a computer, you don't necessarily have to take out the SD card and go find an SD card reader and everything. You can just plug it in directly to your computer if you'd rather do that. And then this is a really cool option, not normally found on dash cams under $100. They include a rear camera as well with everything that you need. You get the hardware and everything. Really long cable, because again, the idea is that you hardwire this in and you can go mount this in the back of your car for if you get rear-ended or anything like that. So this second camera is completely included and for only 40 bucks. So that's not normally seen at this price point. I do like to see that. This is optional. You don't have to do this because this does require some hard wiring into the electrical system of your car. So it's a little bit involved. Maybe you could take it somewhere and have them do it if you're not savvy. But again, it is optional if you don't want it. It is just a really nice feature to see at this price point. So let's take a look at the dash cam itself. We're gonna take the film off here. So nice large LCD display. I do like that as well, because a lot of dash cams, even the one that I run in my car, the screen is tiny. Now normally that doesn't really matter because you don't really need to watch it while you're driving, but a nice display would be nice in a couple situations. One, while you're aiming it in the car just to make sure it's capturing, you know, a right frame and it's not pointed down at your hood or something. But then also if you needed to use this on the scene of an accident, it'll just be a lot easier. Maybe you could have to show a cop or something. Here's what happened, he ran a red light, you know, whatever. So that is nice to see. Taking a look around the device, just an attachment for the suction cup. There is an AV out and mini USB for power, and then a speaker on the bottom. Again, that's really only for use like on the scene of an accident. On the side, there is a reset button, a spot for a micro SD card that is not included, so you'll just have to get a cheap one. It doesn't really matter. SD cards are really cheap nowadays too. And then your power button. So let's get this powered up and walk through the settings. So here we go. As soon as it receives power, it's going to turn on, which is nice because again, with dash cams, the idea is that you set it and forget it. So as long as you put this on your windshield and then hook it up to a power adapter, and just leave it alone, every time you turn on your car, it'll just turn on, and whenever you turn your car off, it'll just shut off. It does have a battery, but it's only for like emergencies and when the car's parked. This does need to have power all the time, so you can't like charge it up and unplug it. And sometimes you'll see reviews on dash cams that say, oh, the battery life sucks, that they just don't understand what they have. They need power all the time, and that's pretty much all dash cams. And right away we can see how large the display is. I do really like that feature. Again, on a lot of these dash cams, the screen is so small, so it is nice to have a larger touchscreen display on here. So as soon as you tap it, again, it works, you know, kind of like any other smart device. Nice interface here. I do like these large buttons. You can go right into playback. You know, there's no card in here right now, but right away you could go in there. Let's go into settings and see what we have here. So you can change the resolution. Again, there's only 2 options, but I think those are really the only 2 you need. I'd probably just leave it on 1080. That's not going to take up a lot of room on your SD card anyway. You can go in here and turn loop recording on or off. We also have photo resolution if you want to take just still photos. So we have a couple options there. And then again, all your regular functions and everything there. So all of your regular options in here, you can turn everything on and off. Auto power off, I would turn that on. I would turn that on for like a minute. So again, the idea is that you set it in your windshield, and as long as it's plugged into the power outlet in your car, it'll just turn on and off with your car, so you never have to think about it. So everything is good here. So I'm gonna grab one of my spare micro SD cards, put that in here. We're gonna get this formatted, and we're gonna go hook this up in the car and go for a ride. So as you guys saw in the demo there, this shoots fantastic video. It's 1080p, so it's full HD, so you'd be able to get license plates or really whatever you need to. It records at only 30 frames a second, but right now this is priced at around $40. So as far as dash cams go, that's really inexpensive, and this is packed full of features that again we normally see only in dash cams, which are priced a little bit higher. So I do recommend one. Guys, again, sometimes you can get into an accident. You can't always trust people to tell the truth, unfortunately. So maybe somebody runs a red light and slams into you. Here's a shocker: when they're off by themselves talking to their insurance company after everybody's gone home, they're gonna say they had a green light. It's just kind of how it is, and it sucks, but that's why you need a dash cam. So I recommend every driver on the road have one of these, and when they're so cheap, you really don't have an excuse to not have one. So I do highly recommend this one, mostly again because it's feature packed and it's inexpensive, which I think is great. And it shoots great video. This is going to be everything you need. I think my favorite feature is the large screen on the back, because again, if you're on the scene of an accident, you can show whoever needs to see it right away what happened. So I do really like that feature. My question for you guys is, do you already have a dash cam? Have they saved your butt before? Like I showed you in the demo footage, there was a time in that parking lot coming around that blind curve that had the situation been a little different, had our cars been closer, that person was cutting that corner kind of sharp, and I guarantee that person would have tried to say it was my fault if we had gotten to an accident. So that was just a small scenario in the little bit of time I was demoing this camera. So I do recommend one of these. Again, I want to know from you guys, have you ever been in an accident? Do you wish you had a dash cam at the time? Do you already run one? Let everybody know down below. If you guys have any other comments or questions, please do leave them down below. I try to get to every single one. Find me on social media so you can stay in touch. My Facebook and Twitter are down below. And as always, a thumbs up and a subscribe would be massively appreciated. That's all I've got for you this time, guys. I'm Zach, this is Slick Reviews, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. Here's some other videos that I think you'll really like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you at the next one.